First up, the Waqf uproar continues as now Jamiathul Ulema president has moved the apex court on Waqf bill. In fact, petitions are piling up in the Supreme Court. A total of 6 petitions have been filed by multiple organizations as well as parties against the bill, which of course was approved by the parliament and received president's assent.
That's right. Of course, earlier we had the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress Party and the AIMIM that had approached the Supreme Court regarding the bill. Now also the DMK is the latest to join that list. Now, in that latest plea, as far as DMK's A. Raja is concerned, filing that plea, and that's going to be coming up in the Supreme Court today. So, after the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress, now it's the DMK that's the latest to join the B line. Meanwhile, Shiv Sena UBT chief, we're talking about Uddhav Thackeray, who has reiterated his stand when it comes to the Waqf bill. He has said that the party won't be challenging that bill in court. Let's listen in.
जिसको समझ में नहीं आया वो नाराज है, जिसको अच्छा से समझ आ जाएगा कि हमने वक़्फ़ अमेंडमेंट बिल में क्या प्रावधान किया है, राजनीति को छोड़ के अच्छा से सोचेंगे तो गरीबों के लिए, मुसलमानों में महिलाओं के लिए, जो बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटीज़ है, बच्चों के लिए, सबके लिए है। आपको पता चलेगा अगले 2-3 साल के अंदर में इसका फ़ायदा बहुत ज़्यादा होने वाला है।
स्टैंड लेना था, हमने ले लिया है। अब नहीं, हम कोर्ट में नहीं जाएंगे। कोर्ट में कांग्रेस और कोई जा रहे तो जाने दो। हमने जो कहना था कह दिया, और परसों भी मैंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस लेके हमारी भूमिका स्पष्ट की है। आगे जैसे जैसे मुझे वक्त मिलेगा मैं और इसके ऊपर बोलते जाऊँगा।
All right, let's go straight across to Nupur on this, who is reporting from the Supreme Court as far as these petitions are concerned. Nupur, multiple pleas have been filed in the Supreme Court, be it Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress, DMK, several other organizations as well. At least about 6 pleas, we believe, have been filed. Take us through the details. When are they likely to come up? And are there more petitions that may be filed against the approval of the Waqf Amendment Bill?
Well, Radhika, yes, of course, there are several petitions that have been filed in the Supreme Court, as you rightly said, including by major political parties like Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, and in fact now DMK is the latest to join the free. But several several civil rights organizations have also moved. Some Muslim organizations have also moved the top court. For now, the number is at 6 to 7 petitions have been filed. However, the Supreme Court has not listed the petition for hearing so far. As the petitions have been filed over the weekend, we may see them being listed over this week or the next week. And they have basically, all of them have moved the Supreme Court, contending that the new Waqf Amendment Bill, in fact, is violative of fundamental rights that have been guaranteed under the Constitution when it comes to equality and practice of one's religion and managing one's own religious affairs. So they have, in fact, moved on several grounds, challenging several changes and amendments that have been brought in by this amendment, Waqf Amendment Bill. Several petitions have also been filed across high courts in India by several individuals and parties, individual parties over this amendments made to the Waqf Amendment Bill. So it is becoming a huge pile-up of petitions in the court, and now it will in fact be very important to see that what the Supreme Court says on these petitions and how the Supreme Court goes forward. Because remember, very important relief that they have been seeking in all these petitions is of an interim stay, and whenever this petition comes up for hearing, they will of course petitioners will push for an interim stay on the act. So if the top court agrees to that demand, then it will be a big blow to the Waqf bill in itself, because then there will be a stay on its coming into force, even without, even before it could start, even it could be enforced. It can face a possible stay from the Supreme Court. However, the court can also decide the other way around. It is completely on the top court. So it will be important to see how the court reacts to these petitions.
Right, of course, as the petitions pile up, Nupur, in fact, we also have, besides the political parties, we also have an NGO associated for the protection of civil rights has also filed a petition in the top court challenging the constitutional validity when it comes to the Waqf bill. We also have Sam Daniel joining us. Sam, the DMK also, having a lot of issues as far as the centre is concerned, whether it is the language row, the delimitation issue, and now also joining in as far as the Waqf bill is concerned.
That's right, Divya. The DMK has a huge minorities vote bank and it's important for the party to be seen not only opposing it in the parliament but also going out of the way to fight this case legally to ensure that the Muslims or the minorities look at them as trusted partners in this. And speaking on this issue earlier, the Tamil Nadu Assembly too had passed a resolution against this, urging the centre to abandon this move. And even on the day the Rajya Sabha discussed this, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had written to the Prime Minister asking him to abandon this. They object to non-Muslim members being made part of the Waqf properties, and they call it as an attack on the rights guaranteed by the Constitution, the way the properties of minorities are run by themselves. And it's in this regard, today, the DMK plans to file a petition in the Supreme Court on the party's behalf. The DMK's MP, A. Raja, would move the petition, and it has to be seen how the court would look at this. But with elections just 1 year away in Tamil Nadu, the party, all the parties, in fact, the AIADMK, which is inching towards the BJP to revive its ties ahead of the elections, even the AIADMK supports this demand to make sure the Waqf board is completely independent, and they believe that the existing form itself, before the amendment was made, is itself enough to make sure whatever irregularities or things ought to be changed can be done through that, and this they do not agree with, Divya and Radhika.
Right, thank you so much, Sam and Nupur, for getting us all those details.